Hello everyone and welcome to another Jujutsu Kaisen leak day. We just got the spoilers for chapter 261, one of the most anticipated chapters of all time. People were trending this chapter the day before it even released, and we finally got it. The big reason was because everyone was really curious to see who the heck was pulling up on Sukuna. Could it have been Gojo finally returning and reviving? Could it have been something else entirely? Well, we find out, thankfully. Gege did not pull his normal Gege troll of cutting away to something when we want to see what's going to happen. Gege actually gave us an answer right before a long week break, thankfully. So, at the very least, it's a chapter to die for, right? So let's get right into it, guys. Our chapter begins right where we left off. Yuji begins to crush Sukuna's heart, starts clawing at it, everything, he's doing that stuff. As soon as Sukuna chants domain expansion in retaliation, he sees Gojo standing, and in disbelief, Sukuna's like, nah, no way. I'm tripping. I am just having a senior moment right now. It's impossible for Sukuna to return, right? There's no way. Well, it's impossible for Gojo to return. Well, come to find out, it's not exactly Gojo, which, oh my god, thank the sun. I don't know about all of you guys, but I've known Gojo was dead for a long time, so it was very validating to see Yuta come back using Kenjaku's curse technique. Because, to be honest with you, one of the most confusing things to me with Yuta killing Kenjaku was how are you gonna let a man with all of those curse techniques, all of those abilities, and all that power die and just go to waste? Yuta, you could have stolen curse spirit manipulation. Yuta, you could have stolen gravity manipulation. You could have stolen body hopping. Why didn't you? Well, it's good to hear that we did. Yuta actually took Kenjaku's body hopping technique and used it to completely take over Gojo's body. Sukuna, because of this, actually acknowledges Yuta and calls Yuta by his full name, Yuta Okotsu, which, you know what that means. That means you've earned the respect. So there's a lot of different moving parts to this, which we go into a flashback to fully understand. Yuta decides to have Rika devour Kenjaku and copy the curse technique, which one is a confirmation that that's how Rika copies abilities. Not that we needed any more of a confirmation if anyone was doubting the Ishigori Ryu assumption back in Sendai Colony. Maki objects to this plan because she goes, hey, Yuta's my bae, don't touch his body. But they're going to use this plan when everybody's wiped out. Kusakabe also confirms here that they can't just copy the Limitless and they can't copy the Six Eyes. If Yuta wanted to use the Limitless or the Six Eyes, he'd have to completely take Gojo's corpse, which Maki asks, since Yuta can use copy for only 5 minutes, what's going to happen after the 5 minutes are up if Yuta's completely inside of a whole nother person's body? Which Mei basically gives us a whole breakdown, which she basically gives us 3 different options for what could happen. If Kenjaku's curse technique is constantly on, the physical body of their soul won't be maintained and Yuta will die. 2, if the curse technique does operate intermittently, he won't die immediately, but he'll die eventually. And then we have curse technique is a single use technique, which means that he can use the Limitless even past the 5 times. This means the body hop happens and Yuta is just Gojo forever, and that's how he stays, but he has access to all the abilities at least. Now, Yuta says that he knows this is a last resort. So first he'll try to fight Sukuna with his own domain. And if that's not good enough, he'll accept the body. Kusakabe says it's a good plan, but it's just not really humane. And Yuta shows his himness in this moment, which I'm very happy for him to do. Yuta is always this character that is known for standing on business, right? Yuta said he was going to kill Kenjaku. He killed Kenjaku. Yuta said he was going to make up for Sukuna killing Higuruma, and he tried to do it with the domain expansion. Yuta is him. Yuta will always be him. And let's remember that, right? So Yuta says, hey, screw humanity, screw all of that stuff. Why is everyone so afraid of becoming some monster? Maki just says, hey, Yuta, we're worried about you. It's not that we're worried about becoming a monster. But Yuta says, what about Gojo? Is he not important? Haven't we been pushing all the burden of becoming a monster onto Gojo alone? Yuta is so annoyed that everyone is willing to use Gojo for all of these purposes and let Gojo take on all the suffering. But no one's willing to take on a lump of that suffering themselves. And this is how Yuta is willing to make up for it. And I'm telling you right now, this is why Yuta will always be known as the next Gojo, whether Kenjaku wants to admit it or not. Not just because Yuta literally is inside of Gojo now and basically might as well be the next Gojo. Yuta is the only one that's willing to step into Gojo's shoes and step into that role. Instead of defaulting to Gojo, Yuta says, I'll take that burden. It's going to be me, which I respect Yuta for. I'll always respect Yuta for it. The scene cuts, and it's Yuta talking to Gojo, which I love. We get this little flashback of Gojo now that Gojo is dead. Say it with me, Gojo's dead. So seeing these flashbacks is nice. Yuta tells Gojo that he'll take his body if he dies, and Gojo says, that's fine, who cares, I'm dead. Which, fair. Gojo also didn't plan on losing anyway, so he didn't think that would happen very much. Now, they talk a little bit about Yuta being a Fujiwara, and Gojo says, well, nope, you're definitely not a Fujiwara, you're a Sugawara. And Yuta says, oh, maybe Yora was wrong. But Gojo goes, you know what, maybe you're both. You ever thought of that? Maybe you have both blood running through your veins, which, God forbid, we need to power up Yuta any more than he already is, but hey, I'll take it. Gojo says Yuta might have been born under better circumstances than he was, and says if Yuta can't utilize that advantage, he's lame. Gojo says he's going to start training Yuta's curse energy. I've told you to be careful about that, which proves that Yuta and Gojo trained, which is just beautiful. This is actually right before Gojo goes to kill the higher-ups, because he mentions that if he loses to Sukuna and all the old geezers in the room are gone, which Gojo's literally about to just kill everyone right now, which is why he's telling his students to please walk away. They don't want to see this massacre that's about to happen. He mentions leaving everything behind to Gaku Kanji, as he is the one higher up that we trust, which, hey man, all you gotta do is play a guitar and keep a secret to lead the Jujutsu world, apparently. That's all that you need to win that election. Gojo once again tells his students to go back, but they refuse, saying that Yuta even rebukes, saying that Yuta will bear this burden with him. They will all leave that burden with him, which is nice. We love seeing the Gojo-student relationship, even though we'll never get to see any more of it. We cut, which we find out what Rinamai's curse technique is, Yuji's friend from high school that was with the helicopter hair sorcerers. Apparently he is the plug with all that booger sugar. He can amplify the sugar within himself and output the sugar in some way, shape, or form, which basically Shoko puts Amaya on the medical team because he can supply their brains with sugar to keep the reverse curse technique and curse energy flows going strong, which Amaya at least has a role, which is nice. He didn't just get sidelined completely. Then we cut again to Yuta, cut in half from the world bisecting cleave, so it's basically confirmed that Sukuna was going to kill Yuta here. Yuta was going to die entirely from the world bisecting cleave if he wasn't teleported by Yuta and immediately brought to get pain frozen by Nita, the same Nita that was frozen, that froze Yuji's injuries in Shibuya and supposedly froze Nobara's injuries. And they stitch Gojo's body back up, and Shoko says, hey, you got one shot at this. Gojo's already dead, but if you jump in there and maximize reverse curse technique, you can bring him back. And what do you know? It happens. We cut back to present, and Sukuna and Yuta are about to domain clash. The ultimate domain clash. I just have to ask a question. The revenge match begins from the editor, yes. The chapter ends with Sukuna and Yuta both using domain expansions. I can't put the double spread on screen, but why is this double spread cooler than all of Gojo and Sukuna's domain expansion double spreads combined? Why does Yuta get the cooler unlimited void domain expansion? Isn't that crazy? But yeah, what a crazy chapter. People were waiting for this chapter, waiting to see what happened, and unfortunately, the Gojo returners did not get what they want. The Kenjaku returners did not get what they want. Yuta fans are loving life right now, and everyone is hating Sukuna fans. Everyone's hating Yuji. I'm saying the wrong characters so often. Everyone is hating Yuta fans. But yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest question is, one, is this going to be enough? Two, what's going to happen to Yuta after the 5 minutes? And 3, is Yuji going to get his kill stolen from him again? My man Yuji cannot catch a break. Gege said, let me remind you who the real MC is. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's the chapter summary of 261. We are on break week. And I mean, what a great cliffhanger to wait for. Imagine if we got break week last week. That would have been insane. Guys, if you enjoyed this chapter, let me know why. If you hated this chapter, let me know why as well down in the comments. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.